And that's where the problem is. Nowhere has there been any acceptance of the fact that it is what it is. And until you accept it, you're never going to see the message that it's giving you. That's my story that comes up. It keeps coming up. And so all of the sitting with the sensation, what David said, the words pure sensation, sitting with the pure sensation means that there is no attached story about if I do this, it will finish. It will go away, because that's what stops it from going away. So I say acceptance because that's a big thing for me. That's my issue. That's how I woke up. It was with the acceptance that whatever I experience is it. And any resistance I put up to it, any desire for it to be different, is just going to corrupt the next moment. There's nothing to do but allow whatever turns up to be there without having an opinion about it, even without judging it or having any opinion at all. Because the moment I have an opinion, the moment I judge it, I just corrupt the next moment. So that becomes a loop that never ends. The only way to break that loop is to not have an opinion. And you can't do not having an opinion. You can't stop yourself from having an opinion. But if you have an opinion, you can see that it's an opinion. And then you can maybe not have an opinion about that fact.
In the case, the question can be, can I live the rest of my life with this sensation? And see if the honest answer is yes or no. And then I'll at least you know where you stand because of this contraction or sensation.
Mm.
But the very fact that we feel it is a contraction is often the sign that we don't want it.
So if we can't fix it and you have to live with it for the rest of your life, you would do it, wouldn't you? You had no choice. You would just do it. So if we bring that back to just now, if it's there now, there's no choice. It's just there. You can't do anything about it. It's just there. But the crazy thing is that the moment you fully accept that it's there, it will change. Or not.
Or not. Mm.
But I think it's not that it will disappear. I think what is very interesting with this is when you stay in that space and you learn and become sensitive, it's the capacity you are to be with what you consider to be uncomfortable feeling or sensation. It grows. So nothing changed, but your capacity is growing and you are able to be aware of more things than just maybe just this pain. Okay, the pain is there, but it is within something that is wider and bigger and deeper and more sensitive and bigger. Yeah. So it's not that it disappears, it's more that the pain gets back to its place, which is a part within a whole, and it's easier to live with it, or it can disappear. But this is just a way of speaking.
Yeah.
So the nature of suffering is that we keep it going with a circular thing. We keep it going with stories, and usually that story is that, well, it shouldn't be there. But it's like any surge of a hormone of adrenaline or whatever hormone, it lasts, I don't know, 90 seconds and it's gone. But if we keep on telling ourselves that we should be scared, we keep it happening. So it's like this one, when it's like David's saying, when that capacity to accept it, you know, that perspective that is wider, and we accept it, then we stop keeping it going. The circular nature of it changes. You know, it's there because we don't want it to be there, and we don't want it to be there because it's there. So it's a circular thing. And so we just have to break that circular. Yeah, by instead of not wanting it to be there, if we accept that it's there, we break the circle. We break the repetition of it. We stop stimulating it.
I would go even a little bit. I would say that you cannot accept pain to be there. Pain, if you feel pain, it will be unacceptable to the system. That's why it's pain, right? So the body will always, there will be a part in your system that will reject it. But it is important because it's his way to say something is dysfunctioning, do something about it. So the acceptance is to accept that the body want to do something about it. This is acceptance. Acceptance is not I feel pain and everything is fine. There is butterfly everywhere. No, there is pain. If the body react to it, that there is something wrong with it. And to accept it, to understand this mechanism and to see it and to feel it.
Mm. So the interesting thing is we can say, I want to accept that it's there, but really I don't accept that it's there. So then the next step is to say,
Exactly.
well, I accept that I don't accept that it's there.
Okay. Okay. I will
You
reflect on
can't
that.
do anything. You can't do anything.
I mean, this whole acceptance thing is, I think I have to look into it a bit deeper.
Hmm. So recognizing what is there is the trick, you know, so that we instead of being consumed by the content, we step outside of the content and we look at the fact that something is there. And so I say, if we can't accept that it's there, then we accept that we can't accept it. And if we have trouble with that, then go back another step and accept that we can't accept that we can't accept. And keep on going until you burst into laughter. At some point, it will become ridiculous, and you'll find yourself laughing at it. And that's when true acceptance has happened. When you accept that you can't accept that you can't accept that you can't accept that you can't accept, usually only about 5 steps of not accepting that you can't accept, and it becomes quite ridiculous.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that, to both.
Yeah.
But I would still say, because I want to be intense today, that if you have done a lot of these explorations, sensation, and nothing works, relationships are there to help you. So you can explore what you feel within the interaction with your people around you.
Mm. And something that's almost irrelevant, but nevertheless something that came to mind here was that if your mother says to you, "What's your opinion about that?" my thoughts are that I would be asking her in a roundabout way. I wouldn't say it this way, but I would say, what do you want my opinion to be? So I would answer her question with a question. Even if you said, what do you think I'm going to say? Because when she rolls her eyes, you know that she has an idea about what you're going to say. So it's just part of the, developing the skill to be not quite so confrontational with that kind of thing. So when she asks you and you immediately think it's about you, there's the clue. You know, when she asks you that she actually expects you to be out of sync with what she wants. But maybe she wants that in you too. Maybe that's why she asks you. Maybe she needs you to be the way you are with her. Who knows? It's possible. You know, if we were always in harmony, it would probably get a bit boring. Maybe, I don't know. I'm never always in harmony, so I don't know that one. Yeah, yeah. It's interesting stuff, isn't it? Mm.
It is interesting. I'm seeing in the morning I woke up, and usually in the morning when I woke up, it's very pleasant, right? It is often this sensation of, if everything is fine and perfect. And I'm seeing, right? And at some point, I see there is a habit, there is this need of being in a mood, right? So for years, I thought that, oh, my work is boring. So it's because of my work, or it is because of my partner, or it is because of the punctuality, or it is because. And now when I woke up, I see, no, no, no. My system have the habit to be in a kind of chemical feeling, emotional state, because this is the imprint. David is kind of unhappy, and the person have some kind of quality, right? The mind is holding, you know. And I see that the action I take are to provoke, to alimент this kind of pattern of of emotional and feelings state. And so it's very interesting, because I spent years trying to change my behavior to have a better emotional result, and it works to some degree. But now I'm seeing it has nothing to do with action or what is happening. It has everything to do with what is deep inside. That is deep, very deep inside. There is something that is crawling for some kind of very specific emotion and feelings inside, and it manipulates the behavior in others and conversation to get this feeling. So
So that
I find it very,
David,
very, very interesting.
David, that
Yes.
thing that you're talking about deep inside, there is something longing to, but is that thing just conditioning, habit, or is it something yet deeper?
What do you mean by deeper? Deeper than what?
What is this thing that when you're speaking and you're saying that you're recognizing that deep inside there is something needing emotions to be in a certain way during the day? Is
What
that
I
what you said?
what yes, yes. What what the way I would interpret it at the moment is what people say ego, but maybe it's not a good word, but it is um, the energy pattern who want to be a person, who need to be a person, who need to be something specifically, right? It's something that find comfort in being identified as a person, as a body, as something specific. And to do this, it is kind of need emerge, and it to do this, it has to look as something, right? To be a person, you have to have some quality, specific quality. You have to be young, old, happy, unhappy. It doesn't matter. So it just emerge and just use the habit, right? So I have kind of a pessimistic uh, personality, right? So it uses and nostalgic and kind of sadness. So it uses those quality and it searched for it. And in this search, it is building not only the the experience of the person, but also the situation within which the person is interacting with. And it all emerged from this need, from this need of being someone. From my perspective, this is a mechanism of identification, right? Identification is not that you identify with something that exists. Identification is a mechanism that literally builds your whole universe in the moment, right now, right? It builds everything so you feel like that you are someone somewhere, and this someone has specific qualities, and that's what you share, right? Your personality can't breathe, so it will use this to kind of feel more a person. For me, it's something else, and Vince, it's something else. So, but I'm just saying it more in a more in layers, very more subtle, and it's very more thin. And I find it amazing right now because I'm less focused on changing it. I'm more focused on exploring. You know what? It's amazing. You know how it is possible that experience is the way it is. I mean, you know, we often start at, okay, the world is there, I am here, the life is happening, and suddenly I have to do something about it, right? But often his story is already like kind of at the end of the stream, you know. But how can you can wake up in the morning and and having an experience? I think it's very interesting.
My goodness, I am late. I must go. I'm so sorry.
Okay, bye bye, Sylvia.
I have an appointment. Oh my goodness, I'm already late. Thanks a lot. See you next time.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you very much. Bye bye.
Bye. I think you are seeing this, I guess, right? In your life, that I need people to be the way they are, like deeply. You know, I need Trump to be Trump. It's very important for me that I perceive Trump the way I perceive it, and I judging the way I do, and Biden and that, yeah, you know, and this is just the way it is, you know.
The trick, of course, is to switch from the intellectual to the personal in that thing, you know. So it's easy to see it at a descriptive intellectual level that, oh yes, I need the world to be the way it is for me to be the way I am. But then when we switch to feeling that, it changes. It becomes a different thing. So I need to be able to rant against Trump in order to feel righteous myself, kind of thing. Yeah. So that makes it a little bit more personal and a little bit more confronting to accept that. Yeah.
So much, yeah. Yes, someone in another meeting spoke about arrogance, right? That there is this sensation of arrogance, and I stay with this for a while, and it come up to me like you say often, right? There is no humility. There is no sensation of humility, because if you feel, oh no, humble, oh, I am humble. When you perceive that you are humble,
Yeah.
this is arrogance, right?
Yeah.
So if you are really humble, you don't see it.
It's
You just
right. You know.
cover your head
Yeah.
completely, and you have no idea what people are talking about. So
Mm.
so this is something that is very tricky also, right? Because it's I think the way you point it often, it's very very good, because it's more about the absence of something than the presence of something else, right? It's
Mm.
more about the absence of arrogance than the presence of the opposite, which is humility. And the same with anger. It's not really about being at peace. It's about, you know, I think it's a very good way to approach it. And often with the story I'm sharing, I'm gonna share about how in the morning I feel this contraction in my person, right? Oh, I'm a person and I have things to do, and I see that it's it's fine the way it is, really. Like it's
Mm.
not about, yeah, it's not about becoming another person, like the arrogance, right?
Yeah. It's interesting that it's fine the way it is. I don't know how to say it. It's fine the way it is makes me disappear. I don't exist when it's fine the way it
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And I have a lot this question those days about who am I without whatever? Who am I without my work? Who am I without my partner? Who am I without me being a father? Who am I in our world? And often I feel some tension. I feel some tension in the belly, like, hey, don't go there, too much.
Mm.
Yeah, keep focus on your problems, and on your pain, and on becoming a very good person and dissolving sensation. Focus on the spiritual path. Don't, you know, don't
Mm.
really just be here as no one. This is
Mm.
nonsense. And one thing that is tricky, the way to make sense, right? There's a strong need in me, but I guess it's all of us, to make sense of what we live and to be able to explain it in a rational way, in a way that is uh, harmonious. But deep down, I'm feeling more and more like there is something that you just have to be with, and there is no way to express
Mm.
it. And when you try, it doesn't work very well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and being here doing this is interesting. I say something that's nothing sometimes. But yeah, so I'm thinking specifically of really, really, really wanting so much to make it okay for some people, and not being able to do that. No matter how hard I try, I can't do that for some. I just really I ache to do it, and yet I can't. And yet that's okay. That's just the way it is. There's no there's yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Mm.
I think this is what you are pointing to. It's very interesting because there is natural. I mean, for me, it's not. I guess not for everyone. When you have this, and it seems that we want to help the other. We want to give support in the way we can, and everything. There is this willing of other to be happy. At the same time, we know that we can't make things for them. And it's very delicate to approach a relationship with this intention of changing the other, right?
Mm. Mm.
So it's very paradoxical,
Yeah.
this way of being with someone and sometimes wanting him to be different. And I think this is why it's very, very deeply helpful to this non-judgmental space, right? To be just like, but to be there, you have to accept your own self. And when you accept your own self, well, you see that it's very easy to accept others because you see that they have no real choice,
Mm.
you have, and
Mm.
and this change a lot. And I think this is why people love so much babies, because babies have this energy, right? They look at you and they don't even understand what they're looking at. So there is a lot of freedom.
Mm. Mm.
Whether you're not young or you have, they just see light somehow, and
Mm.
just give us some kind of feeling of home, of freedom. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a story here that and recognized as a story, that the a fundamental nature of humans is somewhat like a baby. We're just astonished and curious about everything, and it's just a beautiful place to be. Yet that seems to be corrupted by a lot of things that we learn, a lot of things that happen to us, and what we do. Yeah. I find it what I want to do with a lot of people is just find out more about what's going on, find out more about what they're feeling and how they are. And I can't grasp sometimes sometimes there are contradictions in people, what they say they're feeling, and what they want, and why they're searching for, what are they searching for, what is it that's, but I'm just so curious all the time. I just find it really delightful to want to know about, what what's going on for people. Yeah.
But this is what I'm seeing in those groups gathering. It's difficult because even though the mechanism is the same for everyone, right? But the way it's expressed and the way people understand what you say, what you or me or whoever is speaking, we come from so different background, culture, language. Not everyone English is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
their native, and even the English you speak is not really the same in countries. And so often I see it is how is miscommunication, right? And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
now with internet and spirituality and non-duality growing, and there is so much information that I see that yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah. Yeah.
it, it
Yeah.
goes
There
in
was
one
a, yeah.
direction, and
I had an interesting one earlier, and then I thought that because Sylvia is Swiss and you are Swiss, I thought that there is this story that maybe there is something that an understanding of each other because of the cultural upbringing or something
Yeah,
like that, you know. But I recognize it as a story. Then I also saw that, you know, it didn't have to be there at all like that. Yeah.
yeah, no, no, it doesn't. But what is more helpful than the country is the language, because often like we are used often that in one country it is one kind of language, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
But instead
Sylvia's
of these
native
two
language
language,
is Italian.
Italian, yeah. So
She
this
lives
is
in the south
three
of
three language,
Switzerland or whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
And I don't know what yours is. Yeah.
it's a French part. I come from
Right.
Geneva.
Yeah. Yeah. So in other words, yeah, there's,
It's
yeah.
yeah, but it's different for everyone. But I think often we are not really clear about what is the intention often, and but you know about children, I see, I feel more and more like a children in the sense that I don't know what's going on really, you know. I live my life, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm and often I can see that I have this frustration of I'm not a man, right? Because in my imagination, a man knows, you know, this kind of imagination that is strong. He knows what to do. He knows where to
Yeah. Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
He knows
Yeah.
what to do. What is the
Yeah.
need, you know? And often I feel like, you know, I don't know really. I feel lost. And when I was with my children playing, and you know, there is often other children, and you can see often a children just walking, and you can see he's just like, I don't know what what to do, what I'm supposed to do, and it's fine, you know, he doesn't feel agitated. And when I see his energy, I'm thinking, oh, I'm more and more in this, you know, like, okay, I, I live day to day, moment to moment, but on the long term, I really don't really know what it's all about, you know.
Mm, 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 mm.
Hey, Tyler,
Hi, David. Hi, Vince.
Hi, Tyler.
and
Mm,
it's a very nice energy to be with, but it is connected to what you share, right? What uh, it is, who am I without, you know, without with anything, you know,
mm, mm,
being no one in a sense.
mm.
It's interesting.
So you were here a little while ago, Tyler, and then you disappeared again. Was it, what happened?
Oh, one of the guys I'm guiding on LU wanted to do a call, so
Oh,
I had
okay.
one. Yeah.
Right. So you're guiding multiples now.
Yes. It's really fun.
Good on you. Yeah. Yeah.
What's your name on Elio?
TY0, the number 0.
CY0.
Mm.
It was a guy from Sydney, about where you
Okay.
are. Yeah.
Mm. Good one.
What was David talking about?
I was talking about
That's a hard question to answer, isn't it?
it, uh, it began with the fact that I'm seeing more and more in the morning. I'm seeing more the emergence of this identification, which I'm seeing more. It's kind of energy patterns who is seeking some to be to be someone, to be a person, and in this process, it kind of it is seeking very specific aspect of, and it's more like about feeling and emotion state, and because it identifies with, and because it wants those emotional state, the behavior, it seeks specific behavior in specific person to feel, to project those energy into. So the identification process, it's really the whole universe I'm feeling, I'm living in.
Yeah. I mean, but you can't live without that, right?
Well, that depends what living mean. What is your definition of being alive and living?
I mean,
But
because there'll always be a want to drink water when you're thirsty because you want the relief emotion state. Because without all of that, I mean, you would just die, right? Wait and die.
yeah, but not really you. This is the point, right?
Yeah.
This is yeah, but yeah, this is there is, but I'm seeing more. It's it it's an energy, because often there is this identification word, right? But it wasn't that clear to me until, until recently that, I mean, you don't identify with something. The identification, it's an ongoing process, and it is making the whole universe as it is for you in the moment, just like a dream. It is very powerful.
Yeah. But do you feel also the times when there is that feeling of energy of wanting to do something, but there's no identifying?
There is no identifying. Well, for me, there is always identification after the fact. I always feel I have done this, but I'm never really in the spot that, you know,
So only after you do something you feel like that was you doing it.
yeah, constantly. Like right now, when I look back, I feel that I am the one speaking, but, but, but I more feel that I am listening what is coming through more than really putting words into it or thinking about what I'm going to say. I mean, there is no memory of 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 non-action. This is what I'm trying to point, right? If you say, "Oh, there is, there was an action and there is no one doing it," but the very fact that you recall that there was an action is the phenomena, or I am doing it.
Is it?
Yeah, because there is no past action. There is always what is right here, right?
Yeah, there's only the memory of past action and past interpretation, but it's still a
Yeah,
memory now.
yeah, yeah. The memory is actual, but what it is about is not. But you can never really be in the moment. When you are completely in the instant, there is nothing you can recall. There is no recollection of it. That's why
Yeah,
when you drive and there is really no one, you just drive for 2 hours and you're, oh, I drive for 2 hours. There was, yeah, but this is normal, Most of most of life is just happening by its own. But the mind, of course, it's unbearable, so it superimposes some history on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's happening for you, Ramez?
I feel relatively okay, but it's has been very rough 2 days in the hospital with my grandma. Mm, But I think she's relatively okay also.
Mm. So you said relatively twice now. So what do you mean by relatively? Okay.
The day before yesterday was very contracted, was very intense. I was in the hospital with my grandma and my aunt and my mom, and the hospital was very chaotic, and a lot of people, like children, are having injuries, and it was so intense, and I felt very contracted, and uh, trying to understand what's going on, what to do next. Was looking for moving my grandma to another hospital because she needed an ICU, but there was no room for her. And
Mm.
yeah, but the next day I woke up feeling different. Nothing changed. I don't know what really happened. I'm not sure if my system just protecting me or I'm actually feeling okay. I don't know.
So did your head tell you that you shouldn't feel okay? Was there some conflict between your head and your feeling?
The change was unexpected
Mm.
because I felt like it's not gonna change
Mm.
or not that fast with this degree uh, because it felt really horrible in that day. I was unable to breathe. I was completely fire inside my body.
Mm. So your grandmother is still in hospital?
No, she came back home like 2 hours ago.
Okay. Yeah.
She she had like low potassium. She spent a day in another hospital. She's
Mm.
better, I suppose.
But when you woke up feeling okay or more okay, she was still in hospital then, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you were puzzled why you would feel better?
No, I wasn't. I'm just like reflecting on it, like.
Yeah. Okay. Mm.
You know, don't reflect too much, you know. I think it's very healthy that you feel what is in the moment. So if you go to a hospital and you are in a situation that you share, you know, I think it's kind of normal to have some reaction. You know, it's fine if there is a reaction, and it's also normal that when you step out of this environment, the your system change also. I think it's healthy. I wouldn't be worried about if something is hiding or not. You know, if you feel well, enjoy it deeply. You know, and if you feel bad, well, enjoy it deeply. And because everything moves.
But in the hospital also, I noticed that because there was no moment to feel what's happening, because I was very like busy, was doing whatever needs to be done. It's and I wasn't engaged in on my commentary on what's happening. That I felt somewhat detached with my experience. Um,
Would
but
it
it didn't affect me. It didn't affect me in doing things or knowing what to do. It's just functioning normally.
would it be right to say that normally there's so much commentary going on, and so much of your attention is tied to that commentary that it feels like you're the voice in your head saying everything about what's happening. And when you have this busy period where you can't pay attention to that and you just have to do things, it feels like
Yeah,
you're not there. Is that what you mean?
it's maybe the difference. I suppose normally the attention is just it's like trapped inside, like thoughts reflecting on other thoughts, and even thoughts like, oh, there's a thought, and I'm watching the thought, and this like inside game kind of thing. So there was no room for this game to happen, like as much when doing stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think it's very interesting what you are bringing on because it is connected to
Okay.
control. You know, you can hear me?
Now I can.
Okay. I think it's very interesting because it is connected to control. Often there is this fear of of not controlling everything or being detached and not being human. But what I'm hearing from you is by being detached, you are more functional. You function better. And what needed to be done was being done. Efficiency. And what was felt, and when nothing need to be done, well, nothing need to be done. And I think this is some kind of um, mm, a proof that by stepping back in the stepping back with thoughts, we are more functional as a human being. Do, did you feel something like this, what I'm speaking of?
I couldn't hear all what you said. The voice is breaking up. I don't know.
It's for everyone or it's just Ramiz?
Oh, I heard you okay.
I hear you.
Uh,
I don't
what
know,
I
maybe
mean,
because I don't have my headphone. So
I will try again, right? What I'm trying to say is, or what I hear is because you were detached from what was happening. You could function. There was a functioning, and it was efficient. You could function. You did what was needed to be done in the moment without reflection or thinking about it, without controlling what was happening.
yes,
This can help you to release the story of control. You don't need to be in control for your life to work well and smoothly.
there was a lot of moments of feeling helpless, no, not knowing what to do, and moments of frustration, like with the doctor that was working at the hospital that day. Was very annoying. Was very, um, but she's kind of like, I understand why she's acting the way she is, because the hospital is very chaotic. There are a lot of patients, a lot of responsibility, and she had, I feel like she has to like act this way. And she's very dismissive, very rushing around, doesn't listen. And it's like what to do? Like I can't even talk to her. I can't find her.
Hospitals are very curious places because they often reflect the paradox of our situation, that the conflictive, like every situation are both good and bad, because there is a hospital, so you can go somewhere to get help, right? So it's good. But the help you get, it's not really, it's not really what you the way you want it. And this is, yeah, it's very good for working. And I completely understand you about the helplessness we feel in hospital as a patient or as an accompagnant or even as a doctor, you feel this helplessness. Yeah.
And that day there was a dad, and he had like a child injured in his head, and he was yelling at his brother, blaming him for his younger brother accident. And he's screaming at him, and the father was crying and screaming at his brother, and the young boy was crying. He was scared. It was very dramatic scene, and the whole hospital is like wanting to know what's happening. Is like, but it was fine. Like I felt like on the verge of crying in that situation. It was very. And then there was a scene where his mom came to him and hugged him and told him, "Don't worry, it's okay." And it was a day.
If you are bored, you can watch Netflix or go to a hospital and have an adventure, emotional adventure.
There was a kid like has injury in his leg, and he was sitting on the bed in the emergency room, and there was no one around him. And he's looking. He's almost like he was so scared, and he on the verge of crying and looking around to find anyone he knows maybe. And the hospital was very like crowded, and I looked at him. He was very distressed, and I placed my hand on his back and like reassuring him or comforting him. And he started bursting and crying.
How did you feel about that? You wanted to comfort him, yet you released a whole lot of pent up emotion.
It's like he wanted someone to hear his pain, acknowledge him.
And you did that for him. But you didn't answer my question. How did you feel about that?
I don't know.
You don't remember, or you don't recognize?
I don't know where to look for the answer.
Mm, mm.
I suppose I didn't pay attention.
Hmm. So what you thought he wanted?
Sorry?
So what you thought he wanted was somebody to hear his, to recognise his pain and hear him. I wonder if that's what you wanted.
I thought I did, but I'm not sure.
Mm.
Is it okay to be not sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I have to go. Have a good day, everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, I guess. Okay.
Okay.
Tyler,
See ya.
just before you go, Tyler, in about 5 weeks from now, on 21st of next month, I have to be in Sydney I'll go to hospital myself, actually, for a little
Oh,
procedure. And I was wondering if you would take the meeting for me.
21st?
21st of next month, yeah?
Oh, that's a Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I think I'll be back at work.
Oh, okay. No worries. I'll find someone else then. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're
Sorry.
2 hours. Are you at 7:30 now or 7:28?
No, I'm at 3:30. That's
Oh,
why.
okay. You're behind us by 2 hours. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, see you when I see you.
Yep. Okay.